Hello there and welcome to Cities Skylines 2, the latest development in German distraction technology. This is meant to be a game where you must build a perfectly balanced city that fulfills the needs and desires of your population. But running a city is expensive, so naturally in order to fund fire departments and electricity, you need to tax your population. There is only one problem. Does tax make you happy? Surely, the perfect city would be one that doesn't tax its residents, but one that pays people to live there. This gave me an idea for a stupid and potentially impossible challenge: the negative tax city. The rules are simple. As soon as I can adjust the tax rate of my city, I must set everything to minus 10%. I must also charge the lowest possible amount for all goods and services to my citizens. I'll consider this challenge a success if I manage to reach the milestone of big city, which is likely to be very difficult without going bankrupt. So let's start with our first city of Architectopia, a visually beautiful place designed by overpaid snobs from Etonian schools. Right, so first things first, in Architectopia I've added roundabouts everywhere because everyone loves roundabouts. They add so much joy and happiness. Secondly, we're not going to necessarily build the most efficient roads with grid patterns. No, I want snaky wormy roads because they look visually cooler, and ultimately that will make our residents just that little bit happier. What a beautiful set of roads I have created. Of course it needs a roundabout with a tree. Splendid. Right, now we're going to want low density housing because low density housing, whilst it's not very tax efficient, it has large amounts of space, and space makes people happy. If you wanted to maximize the profitability of your tax revenue, you'd put everyone in cheap, tiny, cramped apartment boxes. We're then going to need some shops for everyone, and we do need some businesses for people to work in. The only problem is I don't want any kind of business that would make people upset, so that's why we're going for livestock farming. Perfect, there we go. So we have our employer down, we have our various shops down, and our residents will soon begin moving in. Oh, perfect, we've just achieved the rank of tiny village as I'm building this nice little grain farm. Now, tiny village is very important for us because this is now the point in the game where we can alter taxation. In our case, the tax rate is set at a base of 10% in Cities Skylines, and it can go all the way up to 30%. However, instead of charging tax or even charging zero tax, we will be paying people to actually live in our city. So all of our residents, businesses, and industry will be receiving tax payments from the government. At the moment, this is going to cost us $8,500 a month, so not exactly the best, but hopefully we'll find a way to make money soon. But first, a word from our sponsors, which I definitely took so that I could do a Brummie accent. Hello, it's me, the Spiffing Brit, and I'm here to tell you that Peaky Blinders is coming to World of Tanks. The free-to-play game's latest update is running a Battle Pass event where you get to command the most dangerous minds of Birmingham, like Tommy Shelby. There are a host of other characters all fully voiced as well, and they might even sound more convincing than me. By completing the Battle Pass, you can earn exclusive rewards like custom decals, a new soundtrack, and a tier 9 premium French medium tank, the Charmerat. If you've never played World of Tanks, then you can register with my link in the description and the pinned comment. It's free to play on PC. New players get 500 gold, the T2 light tank B, 200,000 credits, and 7 days premium. You even get free Peaky Blinder decals. It's a lovely game where you must work with your team to defeat the enemy as you nobly charge the objectives, or you can sit at the back of the map as a self-propelled gun and only move your mouse whilst your other hand drinks a refreshing cup of tea. So what are you waiting for? Go peeky around the corner and hit a blind of a shot before the event ends on the 41st of March. 41st? Anyway, onwards with the video. So yes, we have a largely agricultural-based economy going, but our population is finally starting to grow. We're up to 476 people living here. Of course, people are wanting to move in rather quickly because, well, you know, we're paying them to actually live here, so who wouldn't want to be here? And I am noticing we are making money off of service fees. This is because we are charging our population to actually use water and sewage, as well as electricity. We can, of course, cancel all of that so that we're not making any money, and that will make our population extra happy. There we go. That's plus 10 happiness in total from no water and electricity fees. We can see that they really love the taxation and the big spacious homes we're giving them. The only negative is that there's unreliable healthcare coverage. So let's sort that out and build ourselves a small medical clinic. Wabam. So there we go. Everyone is incredibly happy, and this happiness is just climbing up and up and up. But wabam, we've reached the rank of small village, which has given me £50,000 to play with, which is pretty decent, and a small elementary school. This will very much much be needed because our local population desperately wants a school. And there we have it, our school is constructed. This is very good. Now, unfortunately, we can't stop educational fees being collected. Same for healthcare. We'd have to go into the game's files in order to edit them, and that seems a little bit too cheesy to me. Now, one of the few ways we can actually make money that isn't taxation is going to be car parking. So we're going to place down a few of these lovely car parking spaces. The only problem is we will be charging $50 per car. This is one of the few ways we're going to be able to make a decent amount of cash. Citizens will come in, drop off their cars, and hopefully we'll get a little bit of cash because we need this money desperately if we're going to keep the economy going. Oh, fantastic. We've unlocked the rank of large village. That's given us $75,000. One thing you will notice is that when people move in, the average wealth is going to be poor, but for the people that have lived here for a while, they're not poor. No, this man is wretched. Why are you wretched? Oh, I guess you guys don't have enough jobs. Ah, that is a problem. Well, I guess we're just going to need to build an absolutely metrically large quantity of chicken farms. Also, I think our revenue is starting to go up because these car parks are really getting filled. And yep, these car parks are completely full now, so we're going to be able to charge even more money for them. Lovely. Let's get another massive car park built here. We still might survive this. Good. Ah, and we've got a grand village. Perfect. Right. This is actually really, really good for us because now we can create a district. And because we can have ourselves a district, we will soon be able to charge a roadside parking fee. We need the next level of town for that. Oh, and we can build offices. Fantastic. Offices are great because they are high employment hubs, which will then artificially inflate the amount of people moving into our city. So hopefully people are going to stop being so wretchedly poor. Oh, and we can actually build ourselves a pop musician's mansion. There we go. Got a very big, rich, famous person living on this island now.
A few moments later.
Oh dear, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a very dangerous position. We are losing about $31,000 per hour. This, I think, is the end of Architectopia. We have achieved 4,000 population, but if we check our budgets, we are spending $385,000 per day on taxes. Most of it is going into offices. Offices are very dangerous because in the base game, they make a lot of tax revenue. But for our little situation, we have to pay them to be here. I no longer even have enough money to build a park. So yes, even though I built what can be described as a graphically and architecturally beautiful city, it has not worked. It has been a complete and utter failure. So Architectopia was a complete failure. The city had no way to make money outside of charging crazy fees for parking. And whilst it isn't calculated by the game, I do reckon that living a life where you must pay $50 a day to park your car might just be a bit insufferable. Or maybe that's considered normal for Londoners, I just don't know. Luckily, I discovered a weird glitch in the game recently that I think will make this impossible challenge a reality. So we should begin again. Allow me to present to you my new perfect city. Like the Videotopia. Okay, that was a bit too on the nose. How about instead Subtopia? It's where I imagine all of you lovely community members will get to move to after I conquer the entire planet. So let's begin. Right, so this is going to be the start of our wonderful city of Subtopia. Now remember, as soon as possible we need to stop charging tax and instead start handing out money. For that, we're going to need money. Now, experienced players of the game would be like, hey, Spiff, just export electricity. After all, you did it in a previous video and it was horrifically overpowered. Well, the problem there, ladies and gentlemen, is the developers caught on, and so they patched the game so that you can make a maximum of $1 million off of exporting electricity. Now, if you're me, $1 million isn't going to be enough. If we want to actually achieve the role of big city, we're going to need a lot of money. So that's why instead, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get extra creative. And this is why I've instead built a water pumping station. Now, with this water pumping station, we're going to make sure that it is adequately supplied with everything it needs. So we're going to build a little wind turbine here and place down a few houses so that people can actually move in and work this lovely construction. There we go, we have our first 2 people moving into Subtopia, very nice. My first 2 subscribers. I must say, living this close to the water is not a smart decision, especially not when the sewage outlet pipe is literally right there. Look at it go. Now we will need a fair few people to move in at first, so that means we're going to need a little bit of industry and a little bit of shopping, and then that will encourage new residents to move in, and there we go, they're now starting to get a job over at the wonderful water pumping station, which we will now rename to Pump Master 5000. Which I realise is a very dubious name for a water pumping station. Now we just wait for a few more people to move into Subtopia. And there we go, perfect. We now have 100% efficiency in our water pumping station. This is exactly what I was looking for. We are now ready and in a position to do something absolutely silly. So what we're going to do is destroy the economy of the game. The way in which we're going to do this is using water pipes. Quite simply, we are going to build one water pipe out and then connect it up to the edge of the map 14 kilometers over here. This is an incredibly long distance to travel. In fact, it's such a long distance that the game starts having a problem trying to even calculate it. However, I am not the game, so I don't have to worry about that. Oh, fantastic. We've unlocked Tiny Village. Very good. Let me just quickly make sure to get rid of taxation whilst I'm here. So yes, we're just going to keep exporting all of this lovely water, and we're going to build these massive water pipes all the way out to the edge of the map until we have built about 5 of them. Because we have a services connection with the outside world, we can now begin actually exporting water to them. Well, a little bit of shenanigans to connect up all the pipes like so has created something very interesting. You see, by transporting all of this water so far across the map and then splitting them at the end has broken the game's ability to calculate water physics. You will notice that up here in the top left, we are now exporting 1 billion cubic meters of water per month. That is an astronomically large quantity of water. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, we're exporting this. In the bottom right-hand corner, we are going to go from very rapidly losing money to the game realizing that we're actually exporting stuff. And there we go. Just like that, we are now making $50 million a month. That looks good to me. Yes, this is all thanks to our lovely water exportation business. So what we're going to do is now crank down the service fee for water and electricity. And now we should be in a lovely situation where we have a nearly infinite supply of money, which is exactly what I want in order to build our perfect city. Now, I am of course unlocking absolutely massive roundabouts because roundabouts make me very happy as a British person. And they're going to let me build the perfect city. Yes, a roundabout everywhere. Subtopia is going to be glorious. Oh, we've unlocked Small Village. Perfect. We're already smashing our way through these milestones. This is going to be our mega city. Unlike previous iterations, we now have infinitely large quantities of money. We're going to be able to provide education to just about everyone, along with glorious clean electricity. We're providing a lovely environment for people to move into. And yes, they are moving into this, let's just say weird landscape design. I mean, I could try and balance it, but I think having a small elementary school next to a cliff is never going to cause any problems. Our citizens are upset about unreliable healthcare coverage, however, so let's quickly get a small hospital in. And we're going to want a nice little cemetery. Cemeteries are great because they can improve the attractiveness and well-being of your city. So we'll pop down a little temple to boost that, and an attractive mausoleum. Perfect. Of course, these people do technically want to work in jobs, but we don't have any jobs to give them, except maybe working in some farms, so why not? Let's do that. Alright, so we've got a few farms built, which will provide a passing level of employment for the people in our city, but even so, they probably shouldn't need a job to actually survive. After all, it's entirely free to live here. I guess the only problem is that they can't afford to buy anything from the shops. Anyway, let's grab ourselves a fire station to make people happy, and then a police station to keep everyone safe. Yes, already this settlement is growing very nicely, up to 873 people living in Subtopia. Apparently the healthcare coverage is still too unreliable, so we're probably going to want to build ourselves a larger medical clinic over here. And then I suppose we also aren't providing various other services like communication technology or parks and recreation. You know what, I'm also going to unlock the welfare office. Why not? This should be fantastic. It helps the less fortunate by increasing the well-being in the surrounding area. So we're going to place this bad boy down, and not only is it going to employ a lot of people, it's going to massively boost up the standard of living to all these people living nearby who don't have any jobs because I haven't provided them any. Perfect. You'd no longer even need to work in Subtopia. We have moved beyond the requirement for jobs. Fantastic. We've now unlocked the Grand Village, which allows us to create a district. Yes, this is going to encompass the entirety of Subtopia. As we can see, the people living here are very happy. They're only upset that they lack proper entertainment, but that's because we've only just unlocked it. So let's fix that by building ourselves a dog park right here. How about a nice little ring park over there, a modern pocket park of some variety, a small plaza in the center, maybe even a camp campfire site. Why not? That seems great fun. We want to make sure we put down as many of these lovely parks as possible, because not only do they improve the attractiveness of the area that they're in, they also just improve the quality of the life. And that's what we're after. We're here to improve people's lives. We are still making $2 million an hour. This is insane. Even though I've zoned out all of those homes, people still want to move in. Okay, we're going to need to expand the mega grid. Perfect, the mega grid is looking fantastic. Let's give it some more hospitals, fair few more educational centers. We're going to want high schools as well, fire departments, and of course the lovely police. Oh wait, no, that's another welfare office. It's kind of same difference. Let's get another welfare office down. Right, we've expanded this new area nicely, so let's get down space for more residents, more lovely people to move into our free city. We've got $42 million in the bank and things are going very well indeed. Fantastic. We're already up to Boom Town, which means we're not that far away from our wonderful goal of big city. Yes, this city is fantastic. Right, why are people upset? Why are we lacking happiness? Okay, these people are just moving in. That's why our happiness is lower than perfect, because they haven't quite had time to settle down yet. All we care about is happiness, and yes, they've moved in. They're a bit neutral, but it's okay. They will improve with time. The people will love us. They will grow to worship us, and oh, we are running out of water. One thing I am entertained by is the lack of commercial demand. Ever since the start, we haven't had any commercial demand outside of these shops, which, considering we have 4,000 people living here and it is massive, is quite funny. There we go, and look at that. Now that people have had time to settle in, we can see that their happiness is climbing. There are a few people upset that rent is high. However, there are some things we can do to actually assist with that. One of them is to encourage the logging industry. Having a large supply of wood in your city is a great way of lowering the cost of actually maintaining and running buildings. So we'll do that, and that should give us a nice surplus of wood. Right, things are going very well in our city. I've decided to do a few important expansions and built out this lovely area here. And oh, what is this? We've unlocked the real estate mansion. Lovely. I mean, want to live next to a real estate agent. They are famously lovely people. Yes, definitely not the scum of humanity. Now, our city is doing fantastically. We, of course, have a few problems with high rent, but, you know, it's nothing that a few welfare offices won't solve. Large quantities of goods are arriving in our lovely city, and industry is booming. Although we don't really need industry to be booming, because people just want to move into this area anyway. All right, let's see how our tax situation is doing. So currently we pay out to our residences $300,000, which is very crazy. Oh, fantastic. We've unlocked Big Town. That's milestone 8. This is largely down to our city happiness being so high. But yes, we're not too far away now from technically being classed as a city, which will of course be a very silly day indeed, considering that every single person in this house lives in a small, fully detached property. Oh, this one in particular is on fire. So I wouldn't get out of my car if I were you. So I would stand further away from the property. The good news is the fire engine is here. Lovely. Yes, that's all of my good public sector spending being put to good use. An interesting statistic that I do like to look at is tourism in the city. You will notice if we take a look at tourists, there are quite a few now arriving, and of course they are spending money, which is great. The main thing we have that attracts tourists is of course cemeteries. They are the single greatest source of attractiveness a city can have. This is because you just place down a large quantity of mausoleums, and that will massively boost the attractiveness of the entire city, making people absolutely desperate to visit. Perfect. So this mausoleum here will provide an attractiveness rating of 281 to the entire city, which massively improves everything. Oh my goodness, there's a huge amount of traffic trying to get into the city. These are all currently people trying to move on in. It is quite astronomical, the amount of cars and people arriving, and we must of course do our best to cater for them. It is just one steady flow of traffic of people arriving into the glorious subtopia. So once our population moves on in, we should be in a decent enough position where the traffic should subside a bit. However, just in case that isn't the case, we can build the ultra mega stupid underground mega highway. It's perfect. So we slam this bad boy down, give it an absolutely massive roundabout, and we're bam. We have solved traffic in the city, potentially. Probably not. Let's get another massive grid placed on in. This one is accidentally built with dirt roads, but I'm sure nobody will notice. Besides, it's a bit more rustic to live on dirt roads, don't you know? A bit fancy, adds a bit of charm to the environment. Well, population is climbing up incredibly fast. There is no negative opinions about anything in the city, which is quite frankly hilarious. This is such a weird creation I've made. Such a nightmare. I'm hoping that my new traffic alleviation strategy will work out quite nicely. As we can tell by the fact that people are choosing to split off on the highway roundabout here and take my magical underground tunnel route instead, which should throw them out over here. Fantastic. Look at this. Better distribution of traffic flowing. Much better. Now, some would say that designing a near endless loop of continuous roundabouts could actually result in psychological damage to the residents of our cities. But to those people, I say yes. And maybe a little bit of psychological damage will actually help improve their happiness, because that's all that I care about. I only want these residents to be happy. I don't want them worrying about, oh, how am I going to have to pay my tax today? Or, oh, am I going to be able to get a job? No, you don't need a job. It's fine. Don't worry. Government will sort it all. Look at this. There we go. Everyone is pretty much low wealth in their household, but they're still incredibly happy. I've decided to add this addition to the city because I believe that I can probably zone on out a large quantity of residential areas here. There we go. Look at that. That's a nice little horrific mega zone. And we can add in another one about here. Just more horrible locations no one would want to live, but I'm going to make them. And there we go. Well, bam. Look at this. Fantastically zoned, if I do say so myself. All right, we're going to want a few roundabouts everywhere just to make the logistics of this actually viable. Now we can just zone out the entire thing as low density residential housing. Wabam. This is such a mad design, but it is working. Right, we want primary schools everywhere because one of the main contributors to happiness is being in a walkable distance to an elementary school. Then we're going to want another fire department to stop everything burning down. A couple more welfare office for obvious reasons. And lovely, this is going great. More and more people will move into Subtopia. 11,000 population. It's glorious. So glorious indeed. Oh, also, I forgot to check. How is our tourism doing? Oh, we're doing great. 160,000 revenue off of tourism. How many is that? That's 160 tourists in total. Glorious. We don't have any hotel rooms. Actually, we do have hotel rooms. I guess maybe that's the only commercial zoning we have. Wow, yes, it is. This is incredible because no one wants to set up a commercial area in our city. The only people actually providing any form of commercial need is tourism hotels. This is the first time I've ever seen that in Cities Skylines. Usually hotels are impossible to get. Right, well, I guess we need to improve this even more with some more cemeteries. All right, this cemetery is looking really good in terms of the vibes and the atmosphere, up to a lovely 300 level of attractiveness, but we can go even further. So that is exactly what we're going to do. 422 attractiveness on this graveyard. It's so cool. 500 attractiveness. Yes, everyone wants to go to the cemetery today. It costs us $250,000 per month to maintain this cemetery, but it doesn't matter. Oh, we've unlocked Great Town. Fantastic. All right, if we take a look at our city, there is currently an unemployment rate of 11%. 100 of our citizens die each month, but there are endlessly people moving in. Nobody really wants to leave because, I mean, why would you? We got -1 happiness from unreliable healthcare coverage, so we're going to need to fix that. Let's add in a full-blown mega medical clinic. I guess we can actually try and boost this tourism up even further. Let's unlock sports parks, large sport parks, and tourist attractions. So we can now give ourselves an entire football field to entertain this entire side of the city. Wabam. We can also add in some small tennis courts. Right, there we go. Everyone is really happy with that. Oh, and now we need to add the greatest attraction of all. A castle. Fantastic. This is huge. This has 117 attractiveness. I mean, I say visiting a castle is huge. That is less attractiveness than this cemetery over here, and there's about a 5 times difference between the two of them. Oh dear, that is so stupid. That is so stupid. Yes, do you want to see the castle where it'll be really fun? Or alternatively, visit a graveyard and it will be 5 times more exciting. Population is now up to 15,000 and traffic is flowing smoothly. I'm telling you, roundabouts are the solution. Yes, it is hurting people's brains to fly around these roundabouts, but it works. Except in this situation here where it isn't working. Allow me to build a new roundabout and watch as it will begin to work again. Yes, look at this. Roundabouts solving everything. They're great. This city is genuinely fantastic. Everyone is living an idyllic life where they have massive homes, huge abundances of free time, and just overall infinite levels of happiness. Whether you're living out on Schlonger Island, where for some reason you're all dying, waiting for hearses, we need more graveyards. And now I'm noticing some of these houses are actually upgrading to higher levels of property, which means that the population is actually able to save money, which is a good sign, even though everyone living in this city is apparently wretched, which I really don't understand, considering that we are literally paying people to live here. I just think this game's economy is incredibly broken. I mean, you can tell it's incredibly broken because I'm doing what I'm currently doing, but even so, I think it's even more broken. I'm gonna wait for some oh my gosh, I was gonna say I'm gonna wait for some time to pass, but what on earth is going on here? Now watch out, boat! There's a tornado on top of you. Oh dear, this is quite bad. Well, we currently have the rank of small city, which is good because that's probably going to allow me to unlock the fire station, which has various rescuing functionalities. So yes, we'll buy in this lovely fire station. We'll even buy them a lovely little helipad and the disaster response unit. This is the most important thing. We'll even buy in a couple of them because I get the feeling that having an absolutely massive hurricane just fly around. Oh, there's a traffic accident. You don't say. You're a taxi. You're involved in an accident. The accident appears to have been hurricane. I'm surprised the other people are kind of still walking around here on the streets. Are you mad?
Don't take risks on treacherous roads and don't swim in the sea.
Well, that hurricane did very little other than throw a bus out, I guess, and crash these cars. That's all fine. Other than a light bit of traffic, it's not going to cause any problems. Everyone is incredibly happy with what we've done. This is wild. Yeah, I think we've actually done it. We've built the near perfect city. We have so many tourists wanting to visit us. We have everyone having just a grand old time. Yeah, this game's economy is completely broken because Dina Shelley here is a college student living inside of the architect's mansion, complaining about high rent. I mean, look, you are a student with a wretched level of wealth choosing to live inside of this massive palatial mansion right in the heart of our city. I don't know if you're smart enough to go to college. If you can't work out why that might be the case. How is this area doing? Are we still filling up with residences? Yes, we are. We're slowly filling on out with even more people moving into the city. It is absurd the amount of traffic we will eventually be dealing with. Should we build the water park? Why not? Let's build the water park right in the heart of the industrial land. There we go. This seems great. Really boost up that attractiveness. Beach proximity, that's what it wanted, plus 20%. Look at this lovely, attractive environment to go on holiday and visit the water park whilst you gain tuberculosis and asbestos poisoning. What is this? Commercial demand for the first time in 400 years. Quick, let's build some high-density commercial and watch it all disappear as one building is constructed. Yep, that was all it took. This entire bar filled and it is gone. I love how broken this game is. You'd think after 2 years from release they'd have it kind of all patched up by now, but no, that would be silly. I don't know where most of the people in this city are actually shopping, because considering that for this entire city, our commercial zone consists of this small square here, this tiny one here, and then a single block over here that's half filled. Like, where are these 18,000 people getting their food every day? It just doesn't make any sense, because I mean, they're not delivering it because we have next to no traffic. Is everyone here just starving to death? Right, I've decided that we're making so much money, it's actually okay for us to allow offices into the city. Although as I say that, I've zoned out very few of them, and already they are absolutely devouring our government subsidies. Yes, you can see that despite only having about 10 buildings, they are costing us $500,000 a day. Our industry, of course, also costs us a lot in terms of tax revenue. Residential, that's where it's all at. Like, we have all of this covered by residential, and us paying them to be here is only costing us $600,000, whereas this tiny bit of industry costs almost twice that. Oh, we are on the precipice of becoming a big city, ladies and gentlemen. Just about 3,500 experience to go. Now, I've been doing some wonderful things and expanding the scale of my glorious empire, and I think we're in a wonderful position here to expand our mega city even further. I have stolen even more land from the sea, but this will be claimed as residential. It's fantastic. Let's make sure to get the welfare officers in. We're gonna be needing a few of them. In fact, I think we're gonna need even a few more over here on this city. Fantastic. It is incredible to see the total amount of happiness that our lovely city is experiencing. Everyone is absurdly chuffed with everything that we have going on. We're going to place down even a few more extra little post offices just to really help with the logistical flow of our city, and that's it. We've done it. Big city. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, without ever charging any form of tax, we've managed to build a city. Of course, if we were to use the electricity export glitch, it wouldn't have worked because we are spending so much money, over 3 million a day, just on upkeeping all of these services. Luckily, we don't need the electricity glitch because we have the wonderful water exploiting glitch. And with the video coming to an end, I remind you that our glorious sponsor, World of Tanks, is running the Peaky Blinders event until the 31st of March. So use my link, download the game, and and have a blast. Oh no, I've been going over some of our city statistics and we have an average crime probability of 1%. This is terrible. That's far too much crime in my city. So I've decided to unlock the police headquarters and the prison. Prison is a brilliant way to deter crime from happening. So we're going to be placing down multiple of these massive prison complexes to deter the criminals from doing their crime stuff. And then we're going to need multiple police headquarters equipped with helicopter pads so that way we can always have an eye in the sky. Yes, perfect. I do believe we've solved crime. But what if it's not enough? Oh, you're right. Almost every single block will now have one of these city crime buildings. It's going to be perfectly safe. Why wouldn't you want to live here? Crime is impossible. It's definitely not a dystopia. Statistically, this is the perfect city to live. Even though you don't have a job, it doesn't matter. Traffic, incredibly minimal because no one's commuting to work because no one has any work. Yay! We don't even need these roads, probably. We could get rid of everything. We could even get rid of you. If you complain, that's what happens. You don't want to know what happened to the last guy who questioned my divine authority. Anyway, thank you very much for watching today's video, ladies and gentlemen, as I do believe we've perfectly balanced the game. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, then make sure to give the video a like, and why not consider subscribing to watch me exploit even more wonderful, weird features of video games in the future. If you want to give this challenge a go yourself, then send me your results on Twitter, as I can't wait to see them. Anyway, I'll see each and every one of you in the next one. Have a lovely day, and goodbye for now.